Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got a really big story that's been making waves around the world, the future of TikTok in the United States. You've probably seen headlines here and there, but now, some of the biggest details about a potential deal between the US and China are finally coming into focus. And trust me, this one has all the drama. Politics, big tech, national security, and of course, the millions of people who just want to keep scrolling on TikTok. So, let's break this down together. For years now, US lawmakers have been worried about TikTok because it's owned by ByteDance, a company based in China. The concern is that the Chinese government could somehow get access to American users' data or even influence what shows up on the app. And considering more than 170 million Americans use TikTok, you can see why this has turned into such a huge deal. Congress even passed a law that basically forces ByteDance to either sell TikTok's US operations to an American company or risk being completely banned in the country. Imagine waking up one day and TikTok just doesn't work anymore. What would you miss most about it? The funny skits, the news updates, the niche communities you follow? Now, here's where things get interesting. According to reporting from the Wall Street Journal and others, a deal is finally taking shape. The idea is that a group of American investors, including big names like Oracle, Silver Lake, and Andreessen Horowitz, would take over around 80% of TikTok's US business. That would leave ByteDance and its Chinese shareholders with just under 20%, which is important because US law says foreign ownership has to stay below that threshold. On top of that, the new TikTok US board would be dominated by Americans, and get this, the US government itself might even have a representative sitting on the board. That's not something you see every day with a social media company. Do you think that makes TikTok safer, or does it feel a little strange to have the government directly involved in a platform people use for entertainment? Oracle would also play a huge role here. They'd be responsible for storing American user data in their data centers, in Texas specifically, and they'd also oversee moderation and security. So instead of TikTok's data being in the hands of ByteDance, it would be in Oracle servers. The part that's still a little tricky, though, is the algorithm. That's TikTok's secret sauce, the thing that decides what videos pop up on your For You page. ByteDance is expected to license the algorithm to the US company, but American engineers would handle it under US oversight. That means the app you're used to would technically be rebuilt, at least behind the scenes. And here's a question for you. If the algorithm shifts even slightly, if your feed doesn't feel the same anymore, would you still stick with TikTok? Or would you jump to another app like YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels? Now, about timing. The US government originally gave ByteDance a hard deadline to sell or face a ban, but that deadline has been extended multiple times. Right now, the new cutoff date is December 16th, 2025. So this deal has to be fully locked in before then. And let's not forget, this is still politics. The final touches could come down to direct talks between President Trump and President Xi Jinping. Can you imagine TikTok being a bargaining chip at the highest level of diplomacy? So, what does all of this mean for you and me? Well, if this deal goes through, TikTok would stay alive in the US, but it would essentially become a US-based company with heavy oversight. For everyday users, the app might feel the same on the surface, but the way it's run, from data storage to the algorithm, would be very different. But here's the million-dollar question. Will this really solve the concerns? Some lawmakers are skeptical. They argue that as long as ByteDance has any involvement, there could still be risks. Others say this is the best compromise. It protects national security while keeping the app running for millions of creators and users. So what do you think? Should TikTok be completely separated from China, no matter what? Or is this kind of shared ownership and oversight a fair middle ground? And if TikTok ever were banned, do you think something else would quickly take its place? Or is there really only one TikTok? As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. This is one of those stories where everyone has an opinion, and I think it's worth talking about because it says a lot about how our digital lives are tied to global politics. Thanks for sticking around until the end. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated on big stories like this, don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with a friend, and subscribe for more content. It really helps out the channel, and I promise you won't miss a thing as this TikTok saga continues. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay curious, stay thoughtful, and take care.